Hello and welcome to another modern stream. Today we're going to be working a little bit on the list that we tried out yesterday. This is a green-white reclaimer shell where we are adding Karn the Great Creator. Karn is very good right now in the metagame. I think that it just solves a lot of the main problems for decks like this, which is mostly the combo decks. Like somehow Karn just lines up very well against all of the combo decks, and it also provides us with an extra threat that can work through Blood Moon and stuff like that. So Karn is very powerful. We played a league with a list that Batutinia played to a top 8 finish in this past challenge. I thought that the list was pretty bad. So basically, first of all, it was playing 61 cards, which is kind of a no-no in a Reclaimer Primeval Titan deck. You want to make sure that you see your Reclaimers early and often. And the other thing is it had 2 Cavernous Souls, which I think that simply doesn't work. Like Cavernous Soul just doesn't cast too many of your important spells, particularly in the early game. So there's just too many weird sequences with Cavernous Souls, so I didn't want to play the second copy. So instead of the second Cavernous Souls, I'm playing a second basic forest, snow-covered forest. The other change I made is Batutinia had a Scattered Groves in place of the second Temple Garden, and I also did not like that, so I added the second Temple Garden, just the ETB and tap lands, just too important when you want to be playing Reclaimer on turn 1 basically all the time. So those are the changes I made to the main deck. In order to bring it down to 60 cards, I cut the 4th copy of Karn, which you will see that it's in my sideboard. So in matchups where we really want to see Karn, we can always add that to our repertoire of cards. But I also cut some cards in the sideboard. Like I think that the Wishboard was very poorly built. It had a lot of cards, it just didn't do anything. So it had cards like Witchbane Orb and Chalice of the Void, like those kind of cards. They seem okay in theory, but in practice they actually just suck, because by the time that you get them down against the deck, against the decks that you want it against, you're just dead. So if you're spending 4 mana to play your Karn and then 4 mana to play your Witchbane Orb, burn has already killed you by that point, you know what I'm saying? So same thing with Chalice of the Void. If you're spending 4 mana to Karn and then you have like 4 mana for a Chalice on 2, Storm has already killed you, Death Shadow has already killed you. So I think that those cards, even though they are cute and they sound very good in theory, when you actually play the games, you realize that that's just not how the games play out. Same thing with cards like Trinisphere or Ensnare Bridge in like Primeval Titan decks. I'm speaking for as far as the Primeval Titan decks go. I'm not talking about like decks like Tron and stuff like that, because you know, against Tron, if you're playing Tron, you know, you set up your Tron on turn 3 and then you can Karn for Chalice on 1, or you can Karn for Trinisphere, and you have exactly the mana that you need. So as far as Primeval Titan decks go, I think that all of those cards that I just mentioned are a trap. Same thing with Ensnare Bridge. Ensnare Bridge doesn't combo very well with Bounce Land and with a bunch of 6 mana threats. So I think that those cards are more often than not just a trap. So what I'm playing instead is Night of Autumn and Eidolon of Rhetoric. So those are the changes that I made to the list. This is my very first rough draft with a list like this. There are still a couple of cards that I'm missing. Like, for example, I'm a very huge fan of Springbloom Druid. So not being able to play Springbloom Druid definitely is a cost to me. I think that it makes your Elramber Skulls a little bit worse. So definitely missing that card. So honestly, I'm not certain that this is a better option. Like it's very likely that it's just better for you to just play straight up green-white Reclaimer. But it is what we're doing today. And after getting that out of the way, Simo is cool. Thank you so much for coming back for the 4th month with a tier 1 subscription. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. I appreciate the support. I'm new to the stream and have no idea what's going on, but it reminds me of a standard battlefield from a few years ago. Tried the base list at weekend, wasn't too impressed. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. Like I said this multiple times throughout the stream. But it's something to try, and like there's no reason to not try it, right? I played the list yesterday and I went, I think I ended up 4-1, but like that was mostly on the strength of these cards, not on the strength of this card. So Also, you are hurting your toolbox, right? Like just kind of by design, you are hurting your creature toolbox by adding Karn. So you're adding a different toolbox, but of course, adding more toolboxes conflicts with your other toolbox because you know something has to give. That's just the way that it goes. What list is the base list? It's if you go in my stream decker, if you go to all my lists, is the list that I played yesterday. Seems like a fine starting hand. Can go turn 1 field, turn 2 explore. Okay, playing against Money Tribal. It's kind of cool. Hopefully they don't have the bolt. They do have the bolt. Sad face. Oh. Ugh. Foils. Blech. Blech. See what you got, opponent. Let's see what you got. No blocks. Thank you. They're gonna need something kind of good here, and they're paying costs. Okay. I mean, this is pretty strong what they're doing. It's not game winning. And if they miss the land drop, we probably just win. So they better hit the land drop here, otherwise this game is probably over. I guess they could have a path in hand, and they can path the Dryad. But we're gonna sacrifice this basic forest to get the Flagstones. That's the plan. And then next turn we just... Do we just lethal them? I guess they have Field of Ruin, so we don't just lethal them. Yeah, we don't just lethal them. We could also, if they tap out, we could call for Titan. Is that more damage? Okay, so they have the land, but they don't have Cryptic mana. They get a zombie, which is cool and everything. Okay, they didn't do anything. I think there's no reason for me to play into... There's no reason for me to play into... Ugh, feels bad, man. For me to play into counter magic, I mean. I kind of want to fizzle their land more than anything. I think that we win on the following turn. So I'm going to fizzle the land. Here we can go squatter them, or we can go squatter ourselves. My opponent's gonna get to Uro. What I could do here is... Oh, we just chill, actually. If my opponent Uros, they lose, so that seems good for me. What's up, real like? Here comes Uro. I think I want to call here. And I will let that resolve. Sure, let's play around Mana Leak. How do you view the list? There you go. Path my Dryad. We pivot. Pivot. Obviously, it's important to kill the Uro here. And now that the Dryad's gone, we get a forest. Now that the Dryad is gone, we're just gonna kill them with Field of the Dead. I don't want to bog them. Don't really care about their zombies, so there's no real use in destroying their Field of the Dead. So we just chill here. We have bog to get the Uro, or if my opponent has a red and 6, and now they are basically in field tap draw territory. Because I don't think they play main deck Wrath yet. The Fairy is just not good enough here. The Fairy plus Cryptic maybe is good enough. But they're gonna need a lot of Cryptics. Yeah, I don't think this list is very good, but it's fine. We can actually pump this Blast Zone up to 5, which is cute. Show me the Cryptic. There it is. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus an activation. I guess we can do that on end step. So we do get to activate Reclaimer here. I guess I might as well. Yeah, I might as well. Let's get a fetch land. Pass the turn. I didn't say it was the best way to use Karn with Titan for sure, but it's still pretty good for what you're trying to make work. I think it's better than the list that Batutinia top 8'd with. Just because I think that list is very bad. It's a noodle. It's not good enough. Zombies don't matter. The Fairy Time Raveler. Bounce Prime Time. That's a terrible play. That's just a very bad play from my opponent there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this builds up the fairy now. So now we go to combat. My opponent's gonna be forced to tap out because they have to. Oh, they just have nothing. Isn't this lethal? Am I missing something? Path my Reclaimer. Maybe I'm short? Am I short here? I didn't do the math. Maybe I was short. I didn't think I was short. Anyway. Okay. Boils. Cut these. Purges. Should I cut a castle here? I guess I kind of want to cut a castle. Nah, let's not cut a castle. Castle is great. I do think that Purge is very good in this matchup. Omnath, Renan 6, Ashiok. All of them very good against me. Yeah, you gotta be sideboarding for your opponent's sideboard plan. You can't just be sideboarding for your opponent's main deck plan. That's not Ashiok mana. Rain plus field is potentially a problem. Okay. The fairy. I'm gonna get a Dryad here, I think. think I want to... Do I want to make Reclaimer a 3/4? Or would I rather... Because this means more zombies next turn. I think I'd rather make more zombies. Like, it means that my opponent needs to diversify their answers a lot more. So I think I like this. I think keeping second castle is a good idea for sure, but going down to 1 for an extra perch seemed pretty nice, not gonna lie. I mean, it's a matter of... Everything is a decision, right? Like, everything is a matter of choice. Let's go to planes. Karn is nice. So we're gonna start with an attack on the fairy. This forces the action on my opponent. The fairy down. Now I think that we just play this Karn. See what they do. He just resolves. Okay. Gonna need the Ren. The Field of Ruin is actually a little bit scary, honestly. And now if my opponent acts here, what we get to do is we get to kill the Ren. Now we don't have to. You got a Field of the Dead. You also got an arrow. You want more zombies? We can cavern, we can field. We have so many options here. I think I'm gonna Valak it. Because Karn can go get a Crucible now. And it seems like my opponent literally just does not have the answer to this Triad. Kan jag se hur vi fotar igen? Like, they have to counter this, otherwise they just lose. And they don't. Okay. So let's get this one. Valak at your face. Do you have anything? Nothing. I see. Okay, so what if I have this one? And I Valak at your face. Do you have anything? Seems like you also don't have nothing. Okay, so let's play this guy. What do you got now? They had something, but like that's what makes this deck so good against the pile decks. Like, this is literally the reason why I built the deck. This deck came to existence because of this deck. And we see these over and over again. Like, every now and then, like, they just have the nuts, right? And then you just get destroyed. But like, we see this over and over again when you are just like, here's my 1-drop. Can you beat it? No, you can't. Sweet. Okay, so here's my 3-drop. Can you beat this one? Oh, you can't do anything. Like, we're just asking them so many questions, and we're forcing them to have the answer every single time because they lose to my 1-drop. Like, they cannot beat a Resolved Eldritch Reclaimer. So they either have the Bolt on turn 1 or they lose to it. So that is what makes the deck so good when compared to something like Amulet. Like, Amulet doesn't do that. Amulet basically doesn't do anything, then on turn 3 says, can you answer my Titan? Your opponent gusts your Titan, and then you lose, right? Like that's the play pattern, right? So it's very, very different in that sense, because it's the play pattern is just very very so greatly. So my opponent seems like it's doing what I was trying to do the other day. Well, that's a very strong start, opponent. Will we revisit Naya Fella Retreat lands at some point? Maybe on a Tuesday. Maybe I'll try it out again. I think that deck is a lot of fun. So I might give it a shot again. We're not looking great though, I'll tell you that much. My opponent's start is very good and we can't punish them. I hate Lex. Okay. What's your payoff? Leyline is their payoff. I mean, it's not a bad payoff. They're kind of going wide over there. That's a good one. That is a good one. 6. So that's 6. They drew it itself. Uh-oh. They drew something. Lana Ward Tribe. Interesting. I mean, we might not have enough time. They are suiting their dudes up fairly quickly. That's a big Dread Arbor. Do I just have to explosive someone? I feel like I have to explosives on one. Yeah, Blast Zone, sorry. Yeah, hey Lex, I streamed a very, very similar list to this last week. I think that we're Blast Zoning. I really need to find a land. So I can Blast Zone and then play my Reclaimer. Okay. Does that stabilize? We play Titan. Play Titan. We chomp. 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 We take 4, 8. These are probably going to get activated. I think that we get to Titan here. We're going to have to do some chump blocking, but I think that we should be fine. I'm going to get a Valak and I'm going to get a Radiant Fountain. Just making sure that we have the highest life total possible. We might be able to stabilize here. That Llanowar tribe is hella scary though. That is what I like so much about Leyline. It's just like it's a threat and an enabler at the same time. Like that's pretty sick. So they're gonna have to tap one of their dudes. Which means that we don't die because we just double chomp. Wait, can we just single chomp? We might be able to just single chomp. I block... Nope. Not that. So we block here. Take 6, 12, 19. Is that correct? Are we taking 6, 12, 19? We go to exactly 1. We play our Dryad and we lethal them. I'm pretty sure my math is correct. This is a 6-7, this is a 6-7, this is a 7-7. Yeah, looks good to me. This looks good to me. Yes, oh, yes, oh, shield. Suva, Sanctuary. Easy. That Radiant Fountain right there. Sweet. That Radiant Fountain, though. Remember when I got that Radiant Fountain right there, chat? I got that Radiant Fountain instead of getting a field that would have done nothing. And then I got a Valakut that allowed me to attack for lethal. That was tight. That was tight! I remember playing against the Neuro deck with Reclaimer and I was like, wait, you're at 34 and potentially kill them in one turn. Yeah, that sounds about right. Interesting. My opponent keeps 7. Okay. They have a ley line again. My opponent is a lot better at drawing ley line than I was when I played that league, I'll tell you that much. I don't like that at all. Here's my Explorer. Is this Pioneer? No, but it kind of looks like it, huh? Vivian. I tried this card and I thought it was very bad. Like, it just didn't do anything. In this case, like, it obviously works because they drew their Devoted Druid, but, like, I think that we would have been able to beat this Vivian fairly easily. Obviously, the Karn is a lot harder to beat, I'll tell you that much, but... the Karn is definitely a lot harder to beat. But, like, the Vivian is basically only good with exactly Devoted Druid. I guess it will give me more information, so I will just pass here. I think we're gonna Apparition the Karn. And I guess I'm gonna see what Vivian can go get. But we can't beat my opponent blowing up a land every single turn. Remember when Lattice was legal? Yeah, in at GP Austin, I played against an opponent that was playing basically a mono green devotion list as well, and they had Karn and Lattice. It was pretty cool. And that's when I learned that Damping Sphere, my opponent Karn for Damping Sphere, and then they messed themselves up with Nexus. So that was funny. That's when I learned about how that interaction works. Miss Lattice. I mean, Lattice was okay. I honestly don't think that it was as bad as people thought it was. And the reasoning of unfun play patterns is just absolute nether bullshit. Guess we're not dead just yet. Not sure how. Archon of Emeria? Yeah, Archon is sick. Archon is pretty great. 5 of this. So if we draw on top land, we get to blow up their board. That is if we get to untap, of course. And if my opponent doesn't have like an Ulamog or something. Okay, they do have Ulamog. Can we beat Ulamog? I guess it depends on what they exile. They're probably gonna get this and this. Yeah. Okay, good to know. I think we are good here. Beautiful hand. Is my opponent gonna have the ley line in the opener again? No ley line. It's probably great news for me. We have a couple of options here. How do I envision my next couple of turns going? Because we can explore. If I explore, I'm not digging for flagstones. And if I'm not digging for flagstones, I am not making my Reclaimer better. I think I want to explore though. Good. Rewarded. Sure, let's get in there. So next turn we're gonna be able to Karn, or I guess it depends on what they do entirely. So what is this? Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah, this is also a card that I tried in my list and I didn't like it at all. Devoted Druid was impressive, however. Questing Beast. Holy shit. Pass the turn. We're not going to be able to block this Questing Beast, I'll tell you that much. This seems like such a bad payoff, though. Like, okay, that's a lot more worrisome. Like now if they draw Nykthos, we're actually kind of fucked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they don't have the mana for Ulamog just yet, but I mean, I guess the worst case scenario, we can just like Karn minus from Needle and we don't have to worry about the Mog. I could block here and do the Flagstone Streak, but I think that developing my mana is a lot more valuable. Just gonna get a castle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if my opponent draws Nykthos, we're in trouble. But if they don't, we should be good to go. Drawing lands would have been great, but unlucky. Yeah, the foils look completely gross. Ugh. Foils look so bad on MTGO. I really don't understand people who like foils in MTGO. Questing Beast resolves. Oh, that's right, it fights. This card fights, and with the Death Touch, it kills the Titan. I guess it doesn't fight, it just, like, the name of the other card. I can't remember the name of the other card. It's not a big deal. We have another Titan, obviously. Titan number 2. Do we want to gain life at this point? I feel like I'm a little bit more interested in gaining life at this point. I guess that we can just gain life with Reclaimer, so this is fine. Get more tokens, get more land drops. Seems good. Foils are usually cheaper. Yeah, I know that. Mythic foils are more expensive, but like commons and uncommons foils are a lot cheaper. And rares. Sometimes there's like random mythics that are like super expensive. Like for example, Vivian, Artbow Ranger. Like foil is double the price, more than double the price. And that's because that's still like a set that you can redeem. Is it? Actually, it's not. Never mind. So I don't know why it's so much more expensive. Yeah, the redemption is what makes them more expensive. This path is kind of nice. I think I'm just gonna path it right now. I think we're gonna get there here. Karn for Bridge. Karn for Bridge is the only thing that beats me. Yeah, Karn for Bridge is the only thing that... No, not even, because we can get Blaststone with Reclaimer. So we can still beat Karn for Bridge. Got Karns for 30 ticks for the set several months ago. I stepped away from TGO and I came back on them nearly 190 for a playset. Yeah. Karn is one of those cards that has switched around in price so much. It's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy how much the price of Karn's price has gone up and down. Zombie o'clock, baby. Right click, attack all. Sweet. Are bubbles still crazy expensive? No, bubbles have been reprinted a bunch. Like at one point they were like unreasonably expensive. They're 10 tickets now or something. Put his gods, thank you for the follow. Oh, that was you. Good games, Put his god. That's a sweet deck. I was streaming that deck last week. Where did you get your list from? Because I was trying something very similar to what you were doing. Let me see if I can find it. This is the list that I tried, and then I made a bunch of changes. So this was my original list, which had like Utopia's Sprawl, Arbor Elf, but then this didn't combo particularly well with Leyline. Where are my Leylines? Did I not play Leyline in this list? And then I updated it right here. I did play Leyline in the list. I guess like that list that I was just showing is just not the one that I played with. Got my list from an SCG from early 2020 finals. Oh, okay. So it's been a while. Exclamation point, Fran. Change some stuff because Lattice is and I want to make sure some of other changes. Yeah, the Vivians have been very lackluster in my opinion. That was a card that I would end up cutting because it just didn't really do anything. Karn in the board, did you explain it at the beginning of the stream? I mean, there's some matchups where you want to see Karn, right? And some matchups where you don't care for Karn that much. So if you want to see Karn, this may be Dredge. Like if this is Dredge, for example, like this Karn is great. It is Dredge. Wow. That's insane. They got Narcomoeba into double amalgam? Wow, man. That is ridiculous. And the Dredger. And the Dredger. I mean, if Dredge would always do that, like the deck would be just busted. I mean, I'm gonna path one of these amalgams, which is gonna suck, but I just have to. Otherwise, I'm taking too much damage. And it's not like I'm using this path to do anything better than this anyway. This is not Sodek. This is the Ryan Speedy King thing with a follow. It's Ryan who won the showcase with Dredge. It's funny, Speedy King, there was actually a venue in Argentina where I played a couple of times. It was called Speed King. It was like an underground like metal venue. And my band, the Evenfall, the one that I was just playing earlier today, we played there a couple of times. It was fun. So what do they have? They have Gemstone Mine, Hills. We can play Karn here, get Tormod script, then the Karn dies, and that kind of sucks. We can hope that nothing happens this turn, which I think is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is the highest upside play, because if I top deck, if my opponent is only gonna be dredging for 4 or 3, so they didn't have Reunion, and that would have been a great turn to Reunion, so I know that they don't have Reunion in their hand. So they're gonna dredge here for 4. We're just gonna hope that that 4 is not backbreaking. Like, this is fine. This is good. And we're going to... If we top deck a Titan, we actually win, right? So that seems pretty solid. And if we don't top deck a Titan, like, it's still kind of okay. Sicuramente comprou o pack secreto di God Hand Dredge. Yeah, lendário. Uma boa mano. Muito legal. Like the VM because I turn 3 Emrakul out of the board and I just really want to play the deck for fun, not to win necessarily. Yeah, put this god for sure. I'm probably blocking here. Like, if my opponent does have the conflag, like, conflag gets me anyway, so they can kill the Dryad anyway, so it's kind of whatever. It's a little bit of a free block there. Surprised that they wouldn't. I guess that they didn't need to get the block that's back. Never mind. In the Pond Karn list, would you consider replacing the second T-West with Bog? No, I wouldn't. Mesa Cave. Honestly, Forgotten Cave is kind of busted in Dredge. If you want to add the bog, you can add the bog. And I was thinking about adding the bog to the main deck. I thought about it multiple times, but I just don't think that it works out, unfortunately. Like, I would add a 29th land, is what I'm saying. Titan, please. Can you punish Dredge for existing, please? I'm gonna do my best. Stabs, I'm gonna do my best. Titan off the top one time. Titan off the top one time. Prime time. If we draw Titan, we win. Have you seen the new first draft of the new combo decks with cascading to T-Bot, strictly into Eldrazi Titan? Yeah, I think they're kind of memey. I think that people are going to try them out. But they do look kind of memey to me. The bond list is super tight. It's tough feeding anything without having a domino effect, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that multiple times in the cast. Opponent's gonna fetch in response, get the ghasts back. But this is basically a forced play for me, so it's not like I have many other options. We just have to draw a Titan, basically. Definitely want to put a stop in my opponent's draw step. And they should shock. And they should cycle. Probably in response to this Bloodghast entering the battlefield. But they didn't. So by doing that, they are forcing me, like if they find amalgams, they are forcing me to crack before I have more information, which gives them a potential dredge in the upkeep in their next turn. So I think that my opponent should have dredged there. They're only dredging 3, obviously, but Bloodghast is potentially scary. They don't dredge. They don't dredge. Okay. Slam Titan and Wayne, it's easy. Yeah, I know. I'm fucking up here. I didn't crack Crypt because like this 2-1 is not gonna be the difference between winning and losing, and I'd rather hold on to this in case my opponent does top deck exactly Reunion or they have like another merchant or whatever, and then we just die to a couple of random chills. Because this is not hasty right now. What decks do you recommend for grinding? I mean, what decks do you know how to play? I recommend something that you know how to play. Oh, we got a prediction coming up. What's the prediction? Frank gets at least 4-1 this league. That's an easy prediction. Of course I'm gonna get a 4-1. When have I ever not gotten a 4-1? That's like free money. We also have 2 lists in the 190150s, a late Christmas gift. Should be friend gets exactly 4-1. I mean, that's what I'm gonna get. Like, we all know that. Like, I fire up a league and we know that I'm gonna get a 4-1. And it's just, it's all about enjoying the trip. You know what I'm saying? Heels Cave Mesa. I think that we are right now in hope we top deck exactly Titan. And we lose otherwise. So I'm just gonna let that go because it doesn't matter. And again, I don't want to get killed by my opponent milling 3 crippling chills off of this thing with Imp. Like, we're not gonna win the fair way, right? I'm not gonna be able to Karn minus for a worm and win that way. Like, that's just not gonna happen. I have a particular archetype that I play. I've been bouncing from archetype to archetype. I've been playing a lot of full pill spells and salvage Titan kind. Yeah, I mean, usually what I recommend is like you will win more with what you know. But if you know, like, if you are no master of a single deck and you are just like one of those folks that just like play a bunch of different decks or whatever, whenever you want to grind an MTGO, probably the best thing that you can do is to make sure that you're doing it the most efficiently, in the most efficient way. So I would say something like Prowess. That doesn't do it. So we take 3. No, we block 3. Sorry, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's not enough. We had multiple turns to draw a Titan. We just didn't get there. That's fine. I think we sideboard like that. Yeah. Prowess is red-black right now. Still good. I mean, blue-red is the one that's been putting up the most results, I think. Red-black, I think Shadow is better than the Prowess version, but the Shadow version takes longer. I mean, just like straight up, the red-black Prowess version is the grindiest one. So what I'm talking about is about finishing leagues quickly. That's how you maximize your, you know, the amount of QPs and like PPs that you get, and I guess the amount of chests that you get is just by playing a deck that's good and that wins a lot. The best deck is 4-color Omnath. Like, that is just what it is, right? It's just 4-color Omnath, the best deck, and then all the other decks are kind of in a tier 1. We have I would put Omnath tier 0, Red Black Shadow tier 1. I mean, if we draw lands, this hand is great. See more and more people picking up Bug Wreck as well. Yeah, it is. It is a good one. The Koribao Meister list with Search for Ascanta, though. Like, Cory is great and everything, but Search for Ascanta is not. I would recommend against playing Search for Ascanta in your deck. Alright, I mean, we're gonna get to play a Karn. And we're gonna get a Tormod script and we're gonna lock this Shriek Karn. Natural state. Okay. So if my opponent goes nuts here, and I mean like fucking nuts, then we're gonna be in trouble. But if they don't, I think that we're probably gonna win fairly comfortably. Okay. They can go nuts. Are they gonna go nuts? Stinky. Stinky. And what? Another Stinky, just the casual Dredge 15. We can beat 2 Narcomoebas. Okay, sweet. That's it. That's all they got. Also considering to start play Legacy or Vintage because those formats have more interesting Storm decks than Modern. I feel like Amulet draws me in because basically it's like an interesting Storm deck. I mean, Amulet is basically Storm. Everybody knows that. Amulet is... Why can't I spell Giant? There we go. 1, 2. And I think we probably have to crack right here because my opponent's getting... like 2 bloody G's. I guess we can draw step this. Probably draw step in this is better so my opponent doesn't dredge. I think the ghasts do matter here though. Remember when blue-white was playable? Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. So they have a Loam in hand and triple imp. I remember going to FNM and playing Jeskai 4 out of 5 rounds. Yeah, those were the days. John was top tier. Man, Modern had some good times. Modern really had some good times. Pretty unfortunate that we didn't find a fetch. Would be great to make sure that we are Blood Moon proof. No, it's like a meme because Amulet is a toolbox deck and not a Storm deck, but it takes more interesting Storm-like lines and interactions than actual Storm is, Modern at least. I mean, it's fine. I think that it's not the craziest comparison. I think it makes you think. I think that playing Storm in Modern is also, it's not easy at all, by the way. Remember leaving FNM once because I played E-Tron, G-Tron, Scales. Good stuff. Remember when Dredge was top tier and played Faith Looting, a great role, but Price Amalgam was new and shiny? Yeah. Yeah, Hornet Queen was great. I miss Rickthar. Better win this match for the believer's sake. Or 10 minutes ahead of my opponent. Kamiya's yes still plays Boomer John. It was great breaking him with Karn Titan last night. Yeah. Some people just cannot really move on. Is now not a good time for Modern? No, I think it's fine. The Europiles get a little bit annoying, Simo, but besides that, everything is kind of fine. ¿Qué haces, Axeli? Vamos los elfos a pleno. Elfitos a pleno. Go into LGSs, yeah, I know, remember? Remember going to LGSs. So my opponent's gonna kill Karn here. Maybe they'll just loam. Actually, loaming sounds pretty interesting here. Nah, they're going flagging. And they pinged me for 2. Well, at least they can flag is gone, so these dudes maybe stick. But I would love to be drawing lands. They have 1 card left in hand, which I don't know what it is. It might be a Blood Moon. Last turn seemed like a good turn to resolve the moon, though, so it's not that likely that it's a Blood Moon. Playing Stormy Mother was easy, having that in a decent amount. I just think it becomes very boring quickly. Yeah, I mean, it bored me as well, but like people who do that, it's just, it's their life. Boomer John player has like 8 modern decks, but he still keeps going back to Boomer John. He thinks the 50-50 matchups are in his favor because he's a good player, but in John still 50-50 against the field. No, John has never been 50-50 against the field. John has always been 45-55 against the field, if anything. Mountain Mine Hills. I mean, we still kind of have to draw land here. Starting to get annoying. Okay, dope. I'm at 12. Sure. Kill the 1/1s. Like, even now, if my opponent blood moons, it just doesn't matter. We just win with Colossal Dreadmaw. Only 1 chill. 2 Bloodghasts, 1 Amalgam. This game, my opponent's dredges were not as good as last game. Next week, it'll have been 1 year since my last PT event, PT Brussels. Nice, you playing the PT, Lithoniel? That's awesome. Was that the Pioneer PT? I think that was a Pioneer PT, wasn't it? I don't think we can lose here. I mean, we almost lost. They can only come flag for 4. And then we swing back for lethal. They might have to come flag for 4 just to kill the Dryad, actually. Because they are otherwise just DOB. I mean, they're kind of dead on board anyway, because I get to bounce and replay the ball, or I get to Vesuva it. So they're kind of dead anyway, but if they don't kill the Dryad, they're actually dead. As in, they don't get to untap. If they kill the Dryad, at least they get to untap. But they're gonna get to untap with no cards in hand and no graveyard, so I don't know how much that helps them. Interesting to know that, both of them. Pretty fortunate that LGS lets us play after hours while the store is closed here in NorCal. If they didn't, I probably would have sold a lot of my paper. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that, Larry. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I guess I'm just playing Titan just because. Because. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Bounce Land plus Radiant Fountain. And I'm gonna bounce the Bog. And if we have to, we can Vesuva the Radiant Fountain. So yeah, so as I was saying, my opponent gets to untap, but it's not like they can win, so. Oh, I forgot to activate Karn, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, game number 3. Maybe I want Purges. Actually, my opponent showed me Blood Moon, so Purges is just like strictly better than Path to Exile. Didn't activate as a flex. Yeah, exactly. You just have to know that your opponent... Yeah, I had this one too, and I could have activated it, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Just to give you a little bit of hope. Just trying to give my opponent a false sense of confidence. Letting opponents take turns, but they can never win is the true fun. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. You want to give your opponent turns, but you want to make sure that they can't do anything about it. Heard of an evil GS in the UK is letting people play after hours upstairs away from the shop floor. Not something I want to be involved in. It's the first 2 games. Feeling for the deck so far? It's okay. I'm not sure that it's better than just straight up Green-White Reclaimer. But to be fair, Green-White Reclaimer is just broken, right? So I'm definitely keeping this hand, obviously. Turn 1 Reclaimer is busted against Dredge, but I'm trying to think what I'm going to bottom. I think I'm bottoming the Valakut, and then I'm going to be very, very sad when I never draw another land. But I think that's okay. Because like we can call for a Knight of Autumn if my opponent has a ley line. Oh, we also get to go fetch basics, which is pretty dope too. So this was Green White Toolbox. No, this was Ella Danbury's toolbox. You're mistaken. God damn it, Goldfish. Goldfish! So they're gonna dredge. They dredge loam, and that's it. Am I just bogging this? If I let my opponent untap, I'm not worried about the Amalgam, but the problem is that they get to kill my Reclaimer. Because they have 4 cards in hand. We can make Reclaimer into a 3/4. But we get to exile their yard. Yeah, so this is a fine trade. When is Wizard gonna stop being cards and let Karn tutor for all lands and just have to put those? Yeah, I know. So here I'm basically saying, okay, if you want to kill my Reclaimer, go ahead, but you're gonna have no more hand and you're gonna have no graveyard. Which seems like a fine exchange for us. And if they do something like Blood Moon, that's also fine because I get to call for Night of Autumn and we blow it up. Or we just Karn them. Stoned Rick. I'm gonna keep calling Reclaimer Rick until it catches on. Okay. Okay, Rick is good. I can do Rick. Alright, opponent, what you got? What you gonna do? Is that the conflag? Yeah. So they are gonna go for the conflag. I think I'm gonna get Sacred Foundry. I'm gonna sack this. So now my opponent has 1 card in hand and nothing else. And now we can Titan next turn. A lot of people know you worked hard on the deck. The naming should be back to you. Goldfish should be nice and change the deck title to Green White. Green White Hat Friend. Yeah, that sounds right too. Yeah, that's a really hard way to do it, opponent. That's a really rough way to do it. They're like, yeah, I trust you. You're good. You're good. You're good. One hour and 24 minutes, and we've only played 3 matches. Holy crap. So out of these 3 minutes, there's no way that this match took this long. Like took this little amount of time. Like my opponent definitely took more than this, right? Like by the end, they had like 10 minutes or less in their clock. So all of this time that was used was mostly from my opponent's clock. This was a 20 minutes match. This was a 20 minutes match. I guess this one was also 20 minutes. Where did the other 25 minutes come from then? What the hell is going on? This can't be accurate. Anyway, whatever. For one incoming for sure, yeah. Everybody knows that. Okay, what do you got here? What do we got here? Okay, so this is turn 2, call for Titan, turn 3, Dryad, turn 4, kill. Seems reasonable. And we have castle, so any lands gets us there. That is a land. I think I'm gonna hide that land. For the record, I've only voted against 4-1 or better because it was too good EV. Okay, I'm gonna try to make things good for you, Adrolak. My opponent tapping out for Ren. Ren and ticks. Strength. Green. White. Call. Prime time. Untap. That's a good top deck. Chat. I think that's a pretty good top deck. What? Is that Magoose? Is that Magoose here? Who is this guy? How are you doing, Magoose? Long time no see, friend. How's life? We can clear this Ren here. I think I'm gonna clear the Ren. Yeah, that sounds good. Pew. Alternatively, we could have used Reclaimer to go get Cavern of Souls, but I think this is fine. Just a 3/3 mode to my collection of Pepes. Nice. Mom guns. Love it. Supreme Verdict main deck. Supreme Verdict in the main deck. Here's my Titan. Field. Field. This is my Bojuka Bog. You have no graveyard. Tap and draw, or you die. Your go. Merciful. Merciful indeed. The legend of the merciful Magoose. This is fine. But not like in the meme. This is like actually fine. This means that they can make zombies, which is also good. They're also out of... They're also out of sanctuaries. Attack with my lethal horde of zombies. Ghost Quarter at the ready. Milady. Topple creatures, draw a card. Seems acceptable. Bolt my zombie. Sounds good. Bolt another zombie. Still sounds good. Now what? They only have one green source, so even if they had Uro, they can't get it back. Because their mana base is perfect. Jace. So I guess I'm gonna fetch. So I have extra zombies. But it knows what's up. If they Euro, it's still lethal. Field of the Dead. Okay. Okay. Do we have a fetch? Second field. Okay. Path their own Ura. My opponent is working for it. You gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. So, okay. Can we go squatter ourselves? So this is 10 zombies. Minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of them are gonna get through. We can get 2 more. My opponent goes down to 1. So I guess that's not enough. So I'm gonna hold up the Ghost Quarter because it's not enough. So I guess if I had played Radiant Fan, it would have been fine. But I mean, I'm gonna kill the Jace anyway. So with Apparition. And my opponent is smart. They're playing to their outs. You cannot sky a zombie, no. This says non-token. One, two. Land. Land. Cryptic or bust? Bust it is. Well, we've gone through this Cyrodiil a couple of times already. I feel like I play against this stupid deck every single fucking round. Yeah, I could have gone for the Ghost Quarter on myself, but is this a Karn matchup? Not really. Like, Karn is okay, but this is more of a Boil matchup than a Karn matchup. If you know what I'm saying, right? Gust, like, this deck does not lose to Aether Gust. That is why the deck was built. Because it doesn't lose to Aether Gust. That was the point. I wanted to build a deck that did not lose to Aether Gust. And Reclaimer is exactly the card that you want for that. When Gust is trading down on mana, that's a good exchange for you. When Gust is trading very, very high on mana. Very upwards on mana, I guess. That's bad for you. I meant to say every matchup is a Karn matchup. That's just not true. If I play against mono red, these are going to be moving to the sideboard very quickly. If I play against burn, same thing. Not every matchup is a Karn matchup. Most matchups are Karn matchups. And then there are certain Karn matchups where they're very, very much Karn matchups. So that's why we have an extra Karn in the sideboard. This hand is very powerful, but also very slow. And it gets owned by Field of the Dead. What is Crucible in the board for? I mean, you can probably figure that out, right? Crucible is for matchups. Like if your opponent is destroying your lands, well, you just get them back. There's no like secrets about it. Like Crucible is for what you think it is. If your opponent blows up your lands, then you might want to go get a Crucible. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna slam Ashiok here. They are gonna slam Ashiok. My opponent showed me Lightning Bolt, so this is bad against Lightning Bolt, but I think that this, like, we already have an answer to the Ashiok. Look at my opponent! Good job, opponent! Good job! That's how you use Ashiok. With your brain, thinking about why you're doing the stuff that you're doing. That's how you're supposed to use Ashiok. Good job, opponent. I'm proud of you. Well played. Seems more valuable to resolve the Ashiok than to do anything else. So here we're just gonna get Tormod's Crypt. We're gonna play the Crypt. Guaranteed value. We cannot get blown out here by anything really. Karn's down to 1, so Ren is bad, but if we draw land, we slam a Titan, that's uncounterable. If we don't find land, we play a Reclaimer. It's not the best, but... Omnath sucks. Omnath sucks for us, that's for sure. Would love it if my opponent did not draw an Omnath there. And now we would like to draw any untapped land. Any untapped land. That's awkward. I think it's a higher priority to kill this Omnath than to play my Reclaimer. Unfortunate. And this is why I don't like, people are really high on Cavern Souls, but like it can be very awkward, right? Like your mana requirements are very, very steep. Crypt ourselves to get coding back now. I mean, we can do that, but like not right now, right? We need multiple turns before that is online. It's gonna be Sick Forest. Well, hello there. No, not that one. This one. Pretty sure you said to me Karn is not going to Reclaimer a week ago, so what changed? I'm just trying it out. I still didn't say that it's good. I'm still not sure that it's good. In fact, it's quite possible that it's bad. That seems good enough for me to want to fire it off. Am I boiling them on end step or am I boiling them right now? I think I boiled them on end step. Better to pay the challenge with it. Yeah, that's what we're playing it. Whoo! That resolves. That resolves. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. They had the gust. Obviously, it didn't matter, right? Like, we were gonna tighten them anyway, so. And that's why Boyle is good in this deck. And that is why Boyle does the thing here. What do I enjoy playing more? Amulet or Reclaimer? That's a good question. I don't know, honestly. Like, I go... Like, both of them are just so... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, enriching or, like, interesting to me? Rightly, 7th, take over the follow. They are exciting to me in different ways. Yeah, and both of them are good in different metagames, so that's also... Scoop the next match, the 4-1 is secured. Yes. Nothing like getting a 4-1 after your 4-1 has already been secured. There's so much value. There's so much value there. Depends which path is relevant? Nope. Depends which Aethergust is relevant. Path is bad against both decks. Path is bad against this deck, and Path is bad against Amulet. You want to clear better with Karn or without him? You're asking the wrong question. The correct question is, when is Green-White Reclaimer with Karn better than Green-White Reclaimer without it? And the answer is, I don't know. That's why I'm testing it. What is a good Reclaimer matchup? That's a bad Amulet matchup. 4-color Omnath. So many times you get Path into your 6th mana for Titan? Yeah, exactly. Have you ever searched for an opponent in stage 2? No. I don't even know what that is for. I honestly don't understand why that shows up. That makes no sense to me. So you like this version better? No, I never said that. I'm just testing it, folks. This is literally my first league with this. I played a league yesterday with a list similar to this but bad. And now I think this list is a lot better than that one. Shmi, thank you for the follow. And now I think that this list is a lot better than that one, but I played only a single match with it, so I definitely cannot really draw any conclusions because I literally don't know. The good old 4-0 paired against the 0-0. You love to see it. Oh, they're playing green-white. Yeah, they're playing green-white. What's his name? That's bad for us. Definitely bad for us. I wonder, I guess I should have played Vesuva there. That was a small mistake, actually. I should have played Vesuva there because it makes my... it fits my curve better. Small misplay. This matchup is horrendous, by the way. This matchup is really, really bad. Almost regardless of which deck list you're playing. Now they're probably gonna play a Heliod here, and we're gonna lose next turn. We even straight up lose to the Ballista because of this little guy. And there's, as you can see, there's literally nothing that can be done about it. Here's my Dryad. Here's a couple of lands. Please don't kill me. Not dead, not dead, not dead. Okay. Please don't kill me. That's dead. So this is actually just dead, right? Because what they do is... Oh wait, they're not going for it? They should go for it. Yeah, okay. So basically they have infinite +1/+1 counters. So let's say that we block here, for example. My opponent's going to start gaining life with the Carrion Feeder. And then they're going to start putting counters on the Carrion Feeder itself. And then each one of those counters is going to get doubled up. Right? Because of this little guy. So effectively they are creating... Both dudes are going to be infinitely large. And then I'm going to die. So that's why that's lethal. So it's not like they're only gaining infinite life. They're also just straight up killing me. Yeah, this is a matchup where Karn is good. Because Karn blanks the Ballista, and it can go get Pike Needle to also blank the Carrion Feeder. They missequenced but weren't punished. Yeah, I think that they had to go for it in the main phase. I think my opponent was trying to get me, but by trying to get me, they just didn't make the optimal play, which was just like, make sure that your dudes are gonna survive, right? We could have blown them out there. Like, if we had path, we would have pathed the way that they did it. We would have pathed their little guy, their Carrion Feeder, and we would have stopped their loop. Yeah, they went to one counter on the feeder, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they played it poorly, but didn't matter because I didn't have it. So it wasn't only a missequence, but it was also a straight up mistake, both of them. Yikes. The worst part is, like, this hand would have been kind of great if I had access to green mana. This hand's good though. Arbor Elf is broken, please nerf. Okay. That sucks. And I guess I get Blast Zone here, huh? Yeah, because I'm basically... I'm basically not gonna Titan for a minute, so no reason to get castle, I don't think. Sure. Just past the elf? Yeah, sure. That's the winning line. We found the winning line. I'm probably willing to sacrifice this elf. Oreo champion. Company? Walkie Bee. Okay. I think I'm killing Ballista right now. Mostly because I have the mana. Castle is my best draw. Primetime kind of doesn't do shit, so I'm taking 2, 4, 6 this turn. We basically have to dodge at this point, I think. And we have to top deck any untap land here. Land. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Guess I copy the Field of the Dead. That allows me to get Radiant Fountain. I don't like my spot. Ballista is lethal, Ranger Captain is lethal. Down to 1 we go. Radiant Fountain, Celestial Sanctuary. Can we get there? Question mark. Could have upped the Blast Zone. Yeah, I guess I could have upped the Blast Zone. I was feeling like I would want to like blow up the 1s if anything, but I guess that the 2s are actually more threatening. Okay, we're just dead. So I guess uptaking the Blast Zone didn't make any difference. Ballista is just lethal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What count did I make? I don't even know. All right, GG's. This matchup is very bad. And this matchup is very bad for both Amulet and Reclaimer. Like, that's one of those matchups that it's simply just bad for Titan decks, period. Where are we? There we go. So this is the list. It didn't feel bad, honestly. Like, Karn did some good stuff. Dip 4-1 King never disappoint. Oh yeah, 4-1. Just your good old 80% win rate. Nothing new. Nothing new here. Nothing new to see. Sure, like this is cool. I think this is something that you can probably do, and this list seems like a very fine starting point. This seems a lot better than the Batutinha list. By so much, it's not even funny. It's a lot cleaner, it does the thing it wants to do so much better. You're out of points, Iceman. I mean, it's all about the gambling, right? Like, did you feel the rush? You have to play the meta, exactly. Like, that was, honestly, that was the easiest 4-on-1 of all time. Like, that's such a good bet to just betting on 4-on-1s. Easy. Anyway, I think this list is legit. This is definitely something that we can do. If I were to make any changes, the card I'm missing the most, it's kind of the Spring Bloom, right? Like, this kind of bridges the gap a little bit in a way. So it does a little bit of the same thing that Spring Bloom is doing, but Spring Bloom just does it so much better, and you can call for Spring Bloom. So Druid is probably the card that I'm missing the most. And barring that, the list just seems fine. I think that I'd rather have the 4-path in the main deck instead of the 4th Karn. They're obviously different cards, right? And if I'm not playing the 4th path in the main deck, I would be playing it in the sideboard, but just got an El Adambri? No. You have another Toolbox? Yeah, but like I still want to get my Reclaimers and Dryads and Primetimes and Apparition. I definitely am not cutting an Alarmist Call. Can't cut the card that deck's named after. God damn it, Iceman. If anyone actually put in points against me, I would have felt a rush just as it was. It was 10% play, it would have mattered. I won. Yeah, exactly. This was Titan Vial. Yeah, you just gotta not cut the Titan and not cut the Vials, and you're good. I don't forget, yeah. The other thing that could be done is the boils are fine, but maybe 3 is too many. I think that right now 3 is fine. So if I were playing in a big event, I probably would be playing 3 boils. But if you're playing in a league or something, maybe just cutting these 3 boils for like a relic, a dismember, and maybe a mind sensor. Maybe 2 relics and a dismember, or 2 relics and a mind sensor, or something like that. Remember when Vial wasn't removal spell? We sort of just fucked up. Yeah, I know. What a mess. Yeah, I think that usually, like, that's always a very good interaction. Like the Darksteel Citadel one, I don't think it is good enough. I don't think it's good enough. Like, sometimes it's gonna be game winning, but like the slot in your sideboard is just worth so much. So like I do think that it's something that you can do, but yeah. I mean, and sometimes, like, imagine if we had been able to play a Titan 1 turn earlier in that game, right? We actually just win. So definitely, like, all of the ETB tap lands definitely hurt us there. And I'm pretty sure that there was nothing I can do as far as playing the ETB tap land, which is unfortunate, but I feel like that is one of the things that people really undervalue about this deck, right? Like, people always want to be cutting the basic forest for like 1 utility land or something like that. And it's just like, your mana base is shit. Like, it's really bad. So don't make it worse, please. Just don't destroy your mana base, because your mana base is already a mess. So that is something that I always say, and always folks are out there trying to like cut a land that taps for mana and like want to add a utility land. I know it's not sexy. I know that your Wooded Foothills is not the sexiest land that you could be playing. I know that your basic forest is not as sexy as the second Cavern of Souls. And it's not as expensive, but I firmly believe that you want to be playing the forest. People are way too greedy with the decks. Yeah, they are. I see people just see somebody playing a Simic 20 land deck to play Udo and go crazy. Yeah, that's just stupid. I play Misty and Verdant to flex on the KTK pores. Yeah, that's funny. Well, actually, I do the same, first of all, Lithoniel. I do the same, of course, but here it's strictly correct for you to play Wooded Foothills because you can fetch your Sacred Foundry and the other lands don't. Superior Psychological Warfare, yeah, I know, it's pretty good. I like playing 6 lands, add more lands. Yeah, that's a different thing. Like, if you want to add more lands, that's fine. That is perfectly fine, but like, you have to be doing it for a reason, and you have, like, if you add lands, you're not hurting your mana base, right? So, how do you feel about adding a Warfront and Arch of Araska instead of those fields? Wow. Let me analyze the question. Let me just analyze the question before I say no. Expedition, Misty, and Verdant. Wow. Expedition fetches. Honestly, any non Onslaught fetches that could be Onslaught fetches are just strictly wrong. And I can prove it. I can prove it right here. There we go. Look at this. That's what's up. See? The OG. It's just the OG all the way. Always. Expedition Sword with Blue and Stoneblade winning with style. I mean, you're playing Stoneblade though, so I don't know how much winning, but if you're winning with Stoneblade, more power to you. Different flexes have become a recurrent. Yo, I have 2 decks in my house. I have 2 decks. So whenever I get the chance to show them off, I'm gonna do that. I have Blue-Green Madness and Green-White Reclaimer, so that's all I got, so. Always OG, exactly. Like, why would anybody not OG? If they can. Obviously, like, OG fetches are like twice the value, so I don't have OG fetches here, but don't worry about it. OG Basics, OG Ghost Squatter, OG Cavern. Always OG, always, always. Blue with Magnus, fuck yeah, exactly. Reprint Wild Mongrel, yeah, I know. How did the league go? We went 4-1, we lost for the 5-0. Where's the boat? I mean, boat is interesting. I think I would play Ballista before boat nowadays. It's just so much better against the Pure Steel Paladin deck. But the boat is real. This deck could use a boat. I can boat you if you want. There you go. Get boated. Once I bought a Temple Gun Expedition at half its price, that's one of the reasons I like to play Reclaim to show the bling. No, it's nice. OG Forest, OG Temple Gardens too, and Sacred Foundry, and of course OG Bounce Land. Always OG. Helps is fully full, shame it's tier 70. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Alright, folks, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you enjoyed it. I think that this is probably worth exploring some more, so I might be doing some more Karn Green-White Reclaimer streams. Maybe next week. Maybe this coming week I'll do some of that. That's gonna be it for today, though. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.